let's get today started out with something a little more exciting than usual. You think it's gonna fit? Close call. Let's give her a shot. Shout out to my boy Remy for letting me borrow this. Kind of thought that master was gonna be in the way. I didn't know it was gonna be in the way that much though. All right, let's pop the turbo off so it's a little bit lighter and easier to maneuver around. So this is just a 1320 manifold. I don't know what turbo this is. Precision something or another. Something big is all I know. I know we're not anywhere near needing to be worrying about turbo stuff right now, but I'm trying to plan ahead a little bit and see if we can go with just a regular Sidewinder manifold or if we have to go full custom. It's looking like full custom. Hi, Remy.
Hello.
You think she'll fit?
I think it will.
You think? I don't know, bro. There ain't much space.
Like, squeeze it.
Ain't no way. Oh, geez. Yeah, the... Fuck. If that was relocated, if that's possible, then it'd fit. The master's almost in the way too. The reservoir's definitely in the way, but could you do a master cylinder lift kit? I can't drop anything though, like the motor or anything. Damn, that's close.
Dude, that's real close.
Yeah, 3.5. Okay, let me pull this Manny back off. I'm in millimeters. Mine is like 4. I wonder if I could use somehow an older master or a booster as well then.
I mean, I'm sure you could at that point. You're just going to be figuring a way to mount it on the firewall unless it's just a standard 4-bolt.
Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm having a ton of fun on this Type R today. Made a little bit of progress. I don't know why I'm worried about turbo stuff right now. I guess it's just fun. So what I think we can do is run a typical K-Series Sidewinder manifold like we have on here. This is not the one I'm gonna run because it's not mine, but run a typical K-Series manifold. And if we go to a, let's say just a 98 Civic booster with a master, and then they make a billet reservoir as well, that should give us all the clearance in the world to put a turbo right there. So just to make sure, I'm gonna go ahead and pop off the clutch master right now, get that thing unplugged and off the car. And then of course, you already know, if you know Hondas, that's going to a billet one. And then all the stuff up here, we won't be running on the car anyway. So let's pop off that master and make sure our idea is gonna work. If this doesn't work, we're gonna be left with just running a brake booster delete, which I really don't wanna do, or a custom manifold, which I'm not opposed with, but obviously it's a money thing as well. Custom ain't cheap, not when you can't do it yourself. Okay, if it don't fit now, we're going custom, but I'm sure it will. Of course, we're not gonna need any of that, so that's fine. Now where's I gonna put our turb ski at is the main question. It's pretty much what I was going for. So, of course, the brake booster line, we can rebuild that little bracket. I don't even know what it's for. We don't need that. Stock fuel line, you already know we're not gonna use that. This is getting replaced. I like it. I don't know why that wouldn't work. Taking a quick break from working on the Type R to talk to you guys about today's video sponsor, which is the best nutritional drink in the world, AG1. If you're like me and you're constantly in the shop and you never have time to get all the proper micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, all that good stuff in your diet, 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds, if you're slow like me, to slam a scoop of AG1 and you're good to go for the day. Maybe that's 12 seconds. AG1 is a comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition with 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole sourced food ingredients made for just about anybody. Essential daily routines like working on cars and AG1 help us set our intentions and keep us moving in a healthy direction. When we feel our best, we show up our best, and we can perform our best. Let's be honest, building custom cars like this does take a lot of energy. If you find yourself lacking energy throughout the day and you're constantly slamming energy drinks or constantly slamming coffee, it's easy to do, but AG1 is a very, very good, healthy alternative to keep you feeling energized throughout the whole entire day. All it takes is 1 scoop or 1 travel pack per day, 8 ounces of water, slam that girl in the morning, and you are good to go. I wanna give a big shout out to AG1 for sponsoring today's video. Head on over to www.athleticgreens.com/Devin Niemela to get started on your first purchase. Along with your first purchase, you will receive a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and 5 free travel packs. I'm glad we got that all sorted. Of course, we have much bigger things to worry about than a turbo kit right now. To be honest, this car will probably be NA for the first start, just to make sure all the driveline stuff works. So I don't know why we're dealing with that, but let's be honest, that looks really freaking cool. So what we need to do is move on to the back of the car. I cannot do obviously any driveline stuff until I know exactly where the rear diff is gonna sit. And in order to know where the rear diff is gonna sit, we have to get a rear diff in the car. That's where the CRV comes back into play. I know a lot of that stuff on that car is destroyed, but I think I'm going to do the same thing that we did with the front. So let's go ahead and jack this thing up, get it on jack stands. Rear diff's coming out. I'm probably gonna need the spindles, or at least do some mock-up with the spindles and hubs and CV axles. Pretty much like what we did with the front, all the stuff in the rear is coming out, but I think the rear is quite a bit easier. I will not be using the diff. I did decide to go Wago van for the rear diff in viscous. I was gonna do the cheaper option, which would be the CV rear diff and Freelander viscous, but I decided if I'm gonna build this car and put all this money and time into this car, I wanna do it right the first time around, so a Wago van setup is on the way. All CRV parts are removed, so we have the subframe. This here is the diff mount. I did not bring the diff in here because we're not gonna be using it. As long as we have a place to mount our Wago van diff, will be good. Stuff for the passenger side, our Stevie axles that we probably will not use. I'm hoping I can just bolt all of my FK8 arms to the CRV subframe. But let's go ahead, get this thing up in the air and pull apart the rear. Seeing how easy the front went, I wouldn't be surprised if the rear is damn near plug and play as well. I was saying though, to the guys, that I hope the rear, in a way, I hope the rear is harder, so it's a little bit more of a challenge, because it only took 3 days to get the entire front done. Subframe in, with the rack, motor mounts built, all that. So maybe I should not wish for that, but we'll see how it goes. Before I tear the whole thing apart, I'm just gonna have a look, just to look at it, because maybe we could just like, let's just crawl under here and do some comparison. Interestingly enough, the CRV lower arm is aluminum. These are steel. Either way, I don't really care, but there's definitely no place for a rear diff mount. I'm just gonna kind of compare some arms though, arm lengths and all that good stuff. Lower control arm, CRV looks to be about 1 inch longer. I did measure wheelbase. CRV versus Type R, and they were the same. What about this arm here? That arm is identical. I guarantee that's the same part. I'm not gonna say guarantee, but I'm betting it's the same part number. So this arm is the same. What else do we got? I like how we replaced the subframe when we rebuilt the car, and now we're not even using it. You know what? Let's just take it apart. Let's just pull it apart. let's see what we got. I can see why people like Honda so much. These things are so easy to work on. Quite a bit different looking rear subframes. I don't think this is gonna be a direct fit, my friends. So we should probably put it right like this. Okay. Quite a bit different. This has 3 mounting points. That one has 2. So the tape measures 4, right? Can always build a bracket. So from the rear to the front, we are at 21. From the rear to the front, we are at not 21. We are at 19 3/4 or 18 3/4. So it ain't a direct fit. That's what we know. It's not a direct fit. It's kind of similar though, how all the arms are set up. That's all the same. But I feel like it would be pretty easy to modify the subframe to accept that rear diff mount. Like we could almost take this, slice that off, whole center section, this, slice that off, merge them together. What to do? Let's go ahead and compare the knuckles. Let's compare the knuckles, because that's another, I would say, a harder issue to deal with is the knuckle situation, because of course our axle has to go through. They literally look so similar. I wonder if that hub would bolt on to this knuckle. I'm gonna try it because it looks like the same pattern. Or that is just the cap. That is just the cap, and this hub already has splines in it. One of the two. Get yourself one of these impact drivers. Anytime you have a screw that will most likely strip out, take your impact driver, hit on the end with a hammer, and it'll bust her loose, just like that. I'm gonna disassemble both and lay them out side by side. It's like a lightweight hub on the rear. Definitely got my wish of not being plug and play. It's all right. A little challenge ain't never hurt nobody. Pretty similar looking, wouldn't you say? Let's see what's going on underneath this guy. Shit, broke my screwdriver. Just a bearing, just a cap and a bearing. Now the test. Putting a CRV hub on the FK8 knuckle. Lo and behold, yep, these things are Legos. So I put the subframe back in the car. This is the, of course, Type R subframe because the CRV one will not bolt up. The one thing that we do have going for us is, of course, when this tank is out, which is gonna have to come out either way because it's right in the way of the drive line, we do have all sorts of space above the subframe. So we have plenty of space to cut the subframe out and then kind of build some mounts. Unfortunately, I don't have a diff here to start doing that. It's gonna be kind of similar to how we did the motor mounts, I think. I'll just get everything in the rear back together, which it did feel kind of pointless now to take it all apart, but it is what it is. Get everything back together, get some axles in, get our diff, get it on, the trans jack, set it exactly where we want it, and build some mounts from there. I think that's gonna be the best bet. But another thing I'm a little bit concerned with is, of course, we can use the CRV hub because it bolts right onto the Type R knuckle. So then we could use CRV rear axles, most likely, but these things look freaking tiny. Now I know Honda axles in general, I always feel like they look small, but correct me if I'm wrong, those ain't gonna hold no power. So that's another mental battle I'm dealing with right now. I'm not sure what to do there. So really the only other thing I can do to get prepared for the rear diff is to pull the fuel tank out. I went ahead and took a look at the CRV fuel tank and it runs from right here to right here. So of course the CRV tank's not gonna work. The Type R tank is not gonna work because it sits right where not only the diff is gonna mount, but also where the driveline is gonna go through. So this car is gonna have to get a custom fuel tank made, which is not a big deal. Probably not a custom, just a aluminum fuel cell should do the trick. Even if it's significantly smaller than stock, I don't think is gonna be a big deal. So let's go lower the car down, do some wiring. Actually, I wonder if I could just drop the tank down and then do the wiring. Let's try that. Unless I can figure out how to plastic weld, I could just trim this tank, but that wouldn't be very safe. I don't want to pull a Remy. And of course it'd be nice, which I don't know why we couldn't, use the stock fuel filler neck. So there's the hanger. The wiring disconnected on its own. Call me weird, but I definitely want to install this thing back on when we're done. So now with the tank out, you can see, T-case is not in, but it'll sit right there. We will have to modify this. Of course, pull that guy off. We don't need that. And now we have all the space in the world for a T-case to sit. And if we need to cut this center section out, put our, did I say T-case? Put our rear diff there and build a bracket above. We have a lot of space for that. So that should hopefully be easy enough. We still have this spot right here for tank to go, or we could even do, I wonder if like a Evo or a Subaru tank would fit in here and bring that to all-wheel drive. This stuff over here, don't really need, and they do have space, of course, for the driveline, being that they are all-wheel drive as well. Or we could just do a custom tank. It would be kind of fun to learn how to build something like that. We'll see, all in due time. Gonna wrap up today's video right here. We're kind of nearing the point of waiting for a lot of parts. So we'll see what comes in tomorrow and what we can get finished up tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out, my friends, and I'll see you guys in the next one.